Hey, it's Johnny Flynn. It's March 29th, and I want to make a few announcements. We went to the CTRA annual meeting. We don't meet often enough, but we're going to vet congressional candidates and senatorial candidates through CTRA. This is their new shirt. I want to show you. I bought 6 of them. Make Connecticut American again. Oh, yes. So they're seeking membership. It's cheap. I'm the only guy from Norwalk, Connecticut in CTRA. And they have fantastic bylaws that we need to agree to. And they are the Republican wing of the Republican Party. Need I say more? Very conservative people. We had multiple speakers talking about different topics. We had Peter Lamage, who pretty much stole the show. He's run for various offices, and he did not necessarily get fair treatment from our own Republican Party, which is not understandable. So there are rules we can't change in the group, like if you can't get the Republican endorsement in your town, like Meriden, that you might be forced to run as an independent or in another party, which voids your membership in CTRA, which is unfortunate because now the independent party is backing liberal candidates, far left candidates. One who I admire is Brian Merlin, who keeps rolling the same rock up a hill every day. But that's because he believes in this opioid tragedy, in ending it. And he has a problem with Jim Himes that's even bigger than mine, which is unbelievable. He has evidence of Himes's malfeasance, and it's different than mine. I don't like Jim Himes because of Bank America's treatment as his largest donor. The largest donors need to be inspected as to why they're writing so many big checks to our congressman. Other people have problems with Himes as well, T.J. Elgin, who's a friend of mine. But what we're trying to do here, folks, is get more conservatives to change the narrative in Connecticut, because we need more than one Republican senator in all of New England. Holy moly, this should be our focus. We cannot have Susan Collins, who's a swing vote for Democratic policies. They only need 10 Republicans to push H.R. 1 through. H.R. 1 is an absolute nightmare. It takes away the state's rights to control voting. No more voter ID will be required nationwide. Other people can take your vote in a mail-in ballot. And then when you go to vote, they say, oh no, you already voted, and you can't clear it up in one day. You can't have ballot harvesting. It's a nightmare. So the reason for this post also is to announce this. Flynn versus Firetree. They closed 3 prisons in Connecticut, okay? They opened one up on my street. They didn't have a permit. I sued Norwalk, and I sued Firetree. They both testified they had no permit of any kind, which is false, because I have the permit. They lied to the court, okay? 6 times each. Listen to my words. If you want prisons opening up in residential neighborhoods, that's Bob Duff's fault because of the definition of the words they use in the language, okay? A halfway house is not a prison release. No, it is not. And they violated numerous laws doing it. They didn't have the right permits. I can go on and on. The board was chock full of our police chief, Eloisa Melendez, who is taking bribes from developers to push deals through, like the McClutchy deal. McClutchy bribed the city of Stamford, bribed the city of Norwalk right in front of the vote. And of course they voted for the money. Give a check to the DNC and you get your way, because they guarantee that your election will be fully funded. Folks, this is pay for play. This is the Connecticut way. And like this shirt says, make Connecticut American again. Yeah. We can't have these special interests like in H.R. 1 taking over. Look at the opioid epidemic as just the perfect example. They gave $112 million to the DNC. Why? So Jim Himes wouldn't refer them for criminal prosecution. And 130 people died daily in 2017. The number went up 30% just this year. So we're now talking about having 170 people die annually from opioids? Yes, there's a problem. That's why it's all interconnected. That's why the Independent Party backed Brian Merlin, who is the most progressive guy running for Congress in our past election. However, he's a one topic party guy who's exposing Jim Himes's criminality, okay? Exposing everything he's doing. I'm trying to expose everything Himes is doing too. Mine's a little bit more complicated. It deals with money laundering. There are 500,000 felonies that Himes covered up. 500,000 felonies at Bank America. Yes, and by the way, Bank America financed slavery in America. Well, Shawmut Bank and one other bank were both bought by Bank America. Why I say Bank America owns the two banks in New England that through privateers and through, you have to read the history of Connecticut, folks. Sorry, I'm not going to go through that, but it's long. It's worth reading. But this document in my hand is the trial date for Flynn versus Firetree. Now, Norwalk settled for $1.2 million, the suit with Firetree. I'm not going to settle. I want it to go to trial. I want those guys to lie to the court so I can put the mayor and the rest of them in jail. Hello, that's where they need to go. We're doing well on some cases, folks. This one has a trial date, so I don't want to hear it because no one in Norwalk helped one bit with this lawsuit. And we have lots of them. The Denise Merrill one is very interesting. The stone crushing one implicates a judge. Yes. How can you have 285 people with respiratory ailments during a pandemic living around a stone crushing facility that constantly crushes cement illegally, doesn't cover the piles, the wind blows, and arsenic, chromium, heavy metals all go in the air? One family has multiple deaths. The mother, two of the daughters, and there are 6 daughters. So 4 of the remaining 6 daughters have cancer, and the son had a stroke 7 or 8 years ago. So all 8 people are affected in that generation. The next generation is worse. The kids have been affected more than the parents. So let's send a message to Judge Gennario. I'll see you on April 12th. Hello. And I got enough evidence now, okay? We're talking about Stephen Barrier at this moment, okay? Stephen Barrier is an absolute must-follow murder case. Murder case. Got it? Follow it. It deals with bribery from Lamont, who gave an executive order to Tong, who paid the NAACP, compensating Black Lives Matter in Stamford, listen, because 9 cops have been injured already, and the police chief, Shaw, says that the newspapers have a false narrative about the story. Oh, yes, they do. However, the false narrative came from Richard Colangelo, our chief state's attorney, who received part of the bribe. So, hello, I've been calling the FBI for a year about it. I asked for a carry permit, and I'm going there today. And if I don't get one, that's fine. I'm well documented. I need you guys to follow me to document what I'm doing so you know, because 3 non-Democrats got arrested and during their campaigns. T.J. Elgin got arrested running for Congress against Himes by an anonymous complaint. Who else got arrested? Oh, Darnell Crosland got arrested running for mayor of Norwalk. Excuse me? What did he do wrong? Nothing. He didn't tamper with witnesses. No, he didn't. It wasn't his client. He refused. He's an attorney. He refused the client because he was working for someone associated with the plaintiff. He refused a defendant to work for a defendant because he had a relationship with the plaintiff. He had to recuse himself. A. Okay? Who's the third one? The third one's even more interesting. But all 3 pled not guilty. During their election, they got arrested. If I get arrested to ruin my campaign, there will be problems. I'll be the first guy to sue him. But even more importantly, folks, if this continues, it's a pattern. It comes from Richard Colangelo arresting people. Yeah, the prosecutor's offices. Yes. So if any person running for any office in Connecticut that is not a Democrat that gets arrested, you better call me right away. I want to be the one posting bail. I want to be the one cross-examining that butthead, okay? I want him on the stand so I can tear him apart. And I thank you very much. If you want to buy a shirt, they're $20. But what we need to do is have people step up to CTRA so we can get all the groups in the 5 districts loaded so it can be fair. That's our goal. And thank Ann Minuski. She's awesome. Thank Manny. Thank Mark. Thank them all. They were fantastic. All the speakers were fantastic. And Lamage gets a blue banner for first place speaker, though Martha Dean is a class act that is tough to beat. And what can I say? Oh, they had a motivational speaker that was out of this world, and I will give him kudos. He was on the last Holy Lane Shoes ad with Frank Recchi and News Channel 12. Thank you, News Channel 12. I appreciate everything you do. And by the way, it's owned by CNN. Did you know that? The Connecticut News Channel 12, who puts Republicans on, is owned. Of course, they put Blumenthal on 3 times every day. But they are owned by CNN. And if you have stories, we can get you on. It has to be public interest story. Thank you very much. Going to see Frank later today. I can explain the story to you. I think he did a story last week with Josh Van Hosen from New Haven running for alderman, or whatever he's running for, alderman. Thank you very much. Have a great day.